Coach, we're on you whenever you want to start us.
All right. Obviously, got a big challenge this week. We're playing what I think is the hottest team in the MAC right now. They've won 3 games in a row. Defensively, they're in the top 5 in the country in sacks and the top 25 in TFLs. They're really good on all 3 levels on defense. Offensively, the quarterback makes a lot of plays with his feet. He can throw the football as well. They got a real experienced tailback, a good offensive line. They're good on special teams. I mean, they've won 3 football games in a row. And we're going up there for their homecoming, which would be a good crowd. I've actually coached up there a few times, and they get good crowds out there and support their team, and I'm sure on homecoming it'll be a good environment. So it's a real big challenge for us, and we need to get back to work and get these guys in here tomorrow and get ready to go.
Coach, did you guys study film on Sunday?
Yes.
Okay. What was the energy like in that room following Ohio?
Well, it's an educational experience for us because, we have to treat Sunday film just like if you lost or you won should be the exact same. So you have to objectively look at it. You got to celebrate the good plays, but there were still plenty of things that we needed to correct and plenty of things that we needed to fix on special teams and individually, offense and defensively in the position group. So our Sunday should be very similar regardless of the outcome. At that point, the game's over. Now you're trying to improve every week, which is what we're trying to do. So we did talk about how you have to look at the film. You can't just gloss over things because you're happy that you won. You should still objectively look at it.
With a team that's on a 3-game win streak, like you said, what's it like going against a team where they've got momentum?
They're obviously playing really good football, and I know they're playing with a lot of confidence, and you can see that on the film. And we're going to prepare the same way, regardless if they won 3 in a row or lost 3 in a row. But you do know what you're walking into. You're walking into a homecoming crowd of a team that's in first place in the MAC and won 3 games in a row, and they're very well coached. They're very physical. It'll be a big challenge for us.
You talked about looking at maybe some of the mistakes on Saturday. What did you see that you wanted to improve from that game?
We needed to start faster. The first play of the game, we had a couple missed assignments, and that's disappointing because it's the first play of the game, and they ran a play that we've been practicing all week. Offensively, we have to start faster as a team. That's been a kind of recurring theme this year. We got to get some points on the board earlier instead of waiting until the second half.
I guess, how do you think the offense could start faster?
It just comes down, it's as simple as execution. I mean, it's not like we were calling a bunch of different plays in the second half. There was some adjustments that we made, and we did get away from doing some things that they were taking away from us. But there was plays to be made in the first half that we didn't execute and make.
I know you talked about Western's quarterback, Brock Lowry there. How does a dual-threat quarterback kind of change the way you have to approach a game?
Well, the thing about him is he's a very talented runner, and he's a bigger downhill runner. I mean, he runs the ball like a tailback with good body lean. He falls forward. He runs people over, but he can throw the football. I mean, he's not just a guy that is just going to sit back there and run it all day. And they have good receivers, and like I said, I'm very impressed with their offensive line. So you can't just sell out to stop him because he can throw the ball over your head, and their wideouts can get behind you. So. And their tailback's very talented as well. I mean, he's very talented. So they got good players at all the positions you want to have them at. So we got to play well across the board on defense.
Go ahead.
Looking at Navarre play on Saturday, you got this guy on Saturday as well coming up that kind of plays kind of the same way Kyle does, the way he can pass and run. How does that kind of help your defense kind of prepare, having a quarterback you go against every day who does that same thing?
Yeah, it helps you. I mean, obviously our defense gets to go against our quarterbacks, which run the ball all spring and all training camp. But then when you get into a game plan week, they're a lot different than us formationally. So, yeah, they've had to tackle and tag off on quarterbacks, but it really doesn't help as much as you think it would because what they do and how they attack you is really different than what we do offensively.
Do you think the week leading up to a game after a win is different than leading up after?
It shouldn't be. It should be the exact same. Mm-hmm. We'll find out if we're mature enough to prepare the same way this week, and I have no doubt that we are. But you have to be able to handle failure in football, but you also have to be able to handle success, and you have to prepare the same way every single week. And if you have any doubt about how you should prepare once our guys get in here and start watching the film of Western Michigan on Tuesday, they'll realize how good a football team we're playing.
For me.
I'm good.
All right, good stuff.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, Mike.
No problem. Back to work.
Have a good day. Or questions for Roman, please.
This defense has looked better and better every week. What do you think has been the reason for all that improvement?
I think we just come into practice, come in every week with a mindset just to continue to build. Our coach in our position room, Coach Smith, he talks about getting above 75%, getting around that 80-85%, just progressing each week and just putting it all together. And I think that's what we bought into, and it's kind of paying off.
Saturday's win, obviously a big one for the whole team. Kind of what were your emotions like that day?
It was really crazy, honestly. I mean, we put so much work in these past 2 weeks, and for it to pay off and get a win like that, it was just amazing. Especially when we got into the locker room, guys jumping around, smiling, laughing, all that type of stuff. It was just a great feeling, especially in a close win in the MAC. So.
We never to hold Ohio to 0 points in the second half there. What do you think really flipped the script from that first half to second half?
Yeah. We came in, halftime, and we didn't really change much. Our coach told us that we just need to execute the things that we were coached on, and just, settle down, do what we were supposed to do. And then we just went out there and, got gritty and got stops. So that was really key for us. Just falling back on our training, that was the most important thing.
To you, being able to do that against Ohio, a team who has such a good offense, defending MAC champs, what does that kind of say about where this defense is at right now?
Yeah, I think it tells a lot. I think it says that we're a really good defense. Our D-line especially, helps us, makes our job much easier, so it's easier for us to cover. And I think this game kind of just made a statement of who we are and how tough we are, especially in the second half. Finishing the game like that against a really good team, it was pretty cool.
Let's talking about that D-line, obviously with Nate Voorhees being MAC Defensive Player of the Week. What's it like being on a defensive unit with him?
It's great. I mean, we know he's gonna make a play eventually. It doesn't matter if they double him, whatever. He's gonna make our jobs easier. He's a great player. He's a great leader, and we just kind of fall back on him. And it's great to see him just go out there and make a whole bunch of plays.
Kind of like Coach said a minute ago, like Saturday's win, of course, is a big one, but how important is it to not waver going into this game and making sure that uphill trend continues?
Yeah, our coach talked about it yesterday, kind of just putting it behind us. It's a new week, new season. Got to go 1-0 this week, so it's going to be a tough, next 7 weeks. But if we continue to just take 1 week at a time, it's going to allow us to continue to keep getting better and building on and adding more wins.
Yes, how easy or hard is it for you to kind of turn that page and flip the script?
It is hard because it's coming off a big win, but I mean that's just what we have to do. It's just next week mentality. Flush all the emotions and the good feelings out, and just kind of just moving forward. That's kind of the mindset.
And with Western coming in on a 3-game win streak, what have you noticed about their offense?
They're a run-heavy offense. We've played a team like that, UConn, so we're kind of familiar with that type of style. And I think that'll be beneficial for us. Also, they're 2-0 in the MAC, so they're a pretty good football team. So we have to be very, detail-oriented, very physical, and I think that'll allow us to have a chance to get another big win.
All good.
Good.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Roman.
No problem.
Roman, I'm going to grab you for the radio.
This is cool.
I guess getting into it, this offensive line is still relatively young, but has been improving week in and week out. What about this group has made it able to come together here?
Absolutely. Biggest thing, we're family. That's the most beautiful thing. The beginning of the year, fall camp, we were praying before every practice. Now we pray before games. We always go out there and we're going to honor God, obviously. And we just stick together, man. I mean, the 5 up front stick together, but obviously everyone, the whole line room. Our coach always talks about PVO, positive vibes only. And that's always the mindset. That's always how we are. It's just awesome to see us come together in unity, play for each other, play with each other. If someone makes a bad play, it's not like we're blaming them. We're picking them up. If someone else, does a really good play, we're praising them, then we're moving on next play. That's the most beautiful thing about our O-line.
I guess how important is that unity when, you guys are playing, as a unit as a whole?
It's very important. All 5 have to do their job at the same time for the play to happen. One person makes a mistake, the whole thing's going to collapse. So when we all play together, it just all works out together. And then all 11 are on the same page. We're making good, big plays.
On Saturday, I believe you guys did not give up a sack. What is that like when you get that stat as no lineman?
I think the biggest thing is that's the expectation. Our job is to protect our QB. That's our job. That's one of our weekly goals, 0 sacks allowed. And that's an awesome thing. That's a great thing. It's a thing to be, you're definitely praised for. But obviously, we move on, and that's the goal for next week. And this week coming forward is 0 sacks. And that's the biggest thing is focus and continue to fight and have that as our goal.
Getting that accomplishment in week 1 of conference play, does that kind of give you guys motivation knowing that this line can do that?
Yeah, I would say motivation for sure, but I also say we got to stay confident in each other no matter the situation. Like I said, PVO, we got to continue to fight, stick together as a unit, and just understand that we can play good, we can play hard, and we do, and we will.
You know, this offense was able to string together some pretty lengthy drives against Ohio. What's it like as an offensive lineman when the offensive unit as a whole is just marching down the field?
It's fun. It's a fun feeling. Definitely one where you're out of breath a little bit, but as soon as you line up, that's gone. And that's that you line up and you're just going to war with your brothers, and that's an awesome feeling. You get closer inch by inch to that end zone. You're like, man, all you want to do is get in the end zone. That's the ultimate goal every time. Points on the board.
You're looking at Saturday's game or last Saturday's game. The O line looked great, of course, but I feel like every part of the game, you guys looked great. How good is it seeing that team in Week 1 of conference play kind of find that stride so early on?
No, it's a great feeling for sure. But I think the biggest thing to understand is a 1 week season. You just got to take every week, as its own. We had a great game. We played hard. All right, kind of not flush it, but look at it and learn from the mistakes that we made in it, and move on to the next week and attack this week the same as we did last week, and just continue to prepare for the next game.
Coach Hughes said he wanted this offense to start faster, especially against Western. How do you think the offense can do that?
Yeah, that's huge. I think we need to come out firing fast. I think that's definitely one of our weekly goals. Our O-line group was talking about that after game. Every week we seem to come out and not start very fast, start kind of slow. I think the biggest thing is stick together. I think we get out there and we're trying to feel things out, and I think we just need to fire, one play after another. It's always a next play mentality, and I feel like we get into that mindset into the second quarter, but I think we need to start in the first quarter, the first play, all right, next play mentality. Every play is its own play. Go dominate it and go attack it.
Thanks. What have you noticed about Western Michigan's defense?
Once I get into film study a little bit more, I'll understand they have a really good defense, and I'm excited to play against them. But I've noticed they're very well fitted, and they play gaps well. And I'm excited to attack and get in the film with Coach and get in the film with the boys, and attack it. I think we're meeting sometime today or tomorrow as the boys and getting into it. So excited to do that.
I guess what's it like, being in the MAC, going on the road for a team that's got momentum in Western? What's it like going on the road in the MAC?
MAC is war. You've heard that. I know a lot of people talk about grit. It's one of those things. We're going to attack 1 week season. I'm excited to go do that. Definitely different in the MAC than a non-conference, obviously, because every game is its own game. It doesn't matter how good you are in the MAC. Doesn't matter how bad you are in the MAC. Every game, either team can win. It's that mindset of we got to go in it. Coach U always talks about it's a 4-quarter game. We got to attack it like that. We can't just think we're going to go up really high in points and then coast. We got to attack every single play like it's our last play.
Good.
All right. Tristan,
Thank you,
thank you
Tristan. I
very much.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Hey, first time.
First time.
Killed it,
Not
man.
too bad.
Killed it.
Awesome,
Yeah,
dude.
killed it.